my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem damn bad. Gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed in heaven, got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that, it's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up, I'm trying to get it in FT to get them when they're in hand and crypto. Learn how to fix that. I don't really hold out the books, but I'ma learn how to fix that. Some opportunities are never come unless you paying attention, so no, I can't miss that. Moving, MVP, I got the record, I might have to prove something. Big jumper worthy, they gon' have to retire my jersey early. Whole crew coming, had to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no wins, yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen, putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, I really feel it's my time, think it's my big dog, walking big talk, young veteran, living legend, bet I'm better than them. This is my ship, I'm a jacket like Letterman, y'all better not let them in, they gon' rotate this, so I keep the pedaling, started a chain, the cycle is heaven sent, this is from God, but I'm not your reverend, not in the pulpit, I'm a pit bull in this element, yeah, said you gon' pull up, then settle it, yeah, I've been married to this hustle, this is my ring, watch I step in it, yeah, and I ain't even got a yard, but I'ma get it here, watch I touch down, pulling plans out the clutch, everybody getting crushed, the cut down is for us now, have to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that, big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that, work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no wins, yeah, I did all that, had to make it happen, putting hours in my practice, I did all that, yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my, yeah. Run it, I can't take no loss, I don't even know what it costs, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, I can't take no loss, I don't even know what it costs, yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, I really feel it's my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem damn bad. Gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed in heaven, got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so.
Hello. How we doing? Let's do a quick check if the microphone is working. And we're going to start with another day on the PMT. And we're going to continue the analysis from yesterday. I hope you had a good day yesterday. PMI was interesting. We're going to look into that. But let's see, we've got sound first. If someone can confirm. Stefan, hello Stefan. Evan, hello. Have we got sound? I think we do. I just heard myself, so that's good. Right, so we're going to jump straight in to our good old trading view, and we're going to see what happened. Continuation from yesterday on these bad boys. So we had, what did we say? We said that if it breaks the 23, it's highly likely that it's going to go to the 38. What happened? Just broke the 38 now. You heard it here first. Let me just close some things so we're all good. Okay, so what I'm looking for is just to have a look on the news. We're just going to analyze first the PMI result yesterday. Originally, we had a reaction to the upside here. Look at that, change of character. People would take that as a viable long position, but then actually crashed down all the way back into discount. just to hunt those stops, as we always like it to do. So if we jump onto the results of the news, yesterday we can see Wednesday ISM manufacturing PMI, we had a 47.4. It's below the 50, which means less power on the USD. However, it has increased slightly from 47. Well, we had 47.2 increased by 0.2. We also had an increase of 3 from the 46.7s here. So we are seeing that increase in the ISM manufacturing PMI, which is interesting. We also had a less than predicted by 5,000 on the jobs openings. So that also had an impact. Today though, 3 a.m. FOMC meeting minutes. That's what moved the market a little bit. Then we have unemployment claims. That will be something that we're going to have to look. But quite a bit of news going into the Friday, the first Friday. So that's going to be huge. So yeah, quite volatile last few days of the week. Pound is recovering a lot of ground. We're coming. We called it. If we break here, highly likely we're going there. It's probably the right time to start closing some positions. I would like it to go and retest this, the equal lows here. That would be quite nice. That would give us pretty much from discount 64 pips. Not bad. Sound is good. Rich, hello Rich. Nice to see you. So what we're going to do is start with the pound dollar, our favorite pair, and then we're going to go down the rabbit hole of looking at all the pairs. We did look. What else did we say yesterday? If you were in the live yesterday, we talked about bearish Euro CAD. Let's have a look at what happened. Continued lower from the previous daily high. We had a push down of 52 pips. I couldn't trade this because it's a new pair. What did I tell you? I'm going to get involved if something happens anywhere around this area here, 147. So that's quite far away. However, we did had here on the 29th December until 3 p.m. Look at that drop there. So the volume has decreased, which means something is coming. Now, our fundamental analysis was bearish, discounted levels here, previous monthly levels here, and discount areas, strongly lows from the week. So this will be an interesting area to see. If we break the lows here, how far down can we go on the EuroCAD? But that's we're going to see it probably tomorrow. Yeah, I can't see the long play here, but who knows? We'll see what happens. Pound dollar is reaching the 5.5 now, the Fibonacci pushing nicely into the pre-market. This is great news for the people that are long, obviously. So the question now is, when you've had a completed leg. Good morning, Anna. When you've had a completed leg of Fibonacci, the first question is, are we going to break the 5, go to the 61 and potentially the 64, which is the ultimate ICT OTE entry? If you have seen those videos of the OTE. But technically, when you've completed the 0.5, you have to wait to see what's going to happen. Like trading from the 0.5 to the 618 is only 18 pips. And you can potentially risk that this was a pushback filled fair value gaps, got 50% of the move, and then it can break down. So the risk, unless you're from down here longing, or you're recovering positions from up here because you thought it was going to go long, now this is nice areas where we can start getting out. If you're caught around here, that's where repositioning comes in handy, because you can reposition down. Now you'll be getting in good positions where you can take potentially profits, or you can close bad trades. So good stuff, good stuff. I can't remember this red line. What's this one? That was the 23.6, I believe. We had that one. Let's delete that one. Now we can see it. I can't remember this line. I'm going to delete it. So pretty clean now. I'm going to put the 50% on there. Not equilibrium. Monthly fib, daily fib. And we have touched. Funny enough, look at this. Where is the previous weekly low? Exactly at the 50%. We tapped it and now we're reacting. We've taken the previous daily high. So if you remember, I do love previous daily highs and lows. If we were to draw it in for the pound dollar, where it has it there already, but what it doesn't have is the equilibrium for the day. So if we take that and put the equilibrium in there. Did I have another equilibrium? Yeah. So I'll borrow this line, put it on the 50%. That's our normal setup. Remember what we always talked about from the ICT 2027. Here, this gray zone is the equilibrium from the weekly data. So premium up here, discounted from here. And this is coming from the nice little smart money concept indicator. And I've changed the colors to match the colors that I use for my Scruffy levels. So we did look at that. So now basically we have retraced 50%. We're hitting that Fibonacci level. We've broken the previous daily high. We're breaking previous weekly low. And that is looking spicy. All in the pre-market. Good old pre-market. I find really good setups in the pre-market. I don't know about you guys. But how's everyone doing? Evan, Rich, Stefan, Anna, how are you guys? How's your trading been? Tough close of 2023. I know a lot of people found it hard. End of 2023. But new year, new energy. Hopefully pound dollar starts behaving itself. Yeah, so the question is, if we've gone down on a 50-minute and we do our classic, look at that, beautiful, right on the 50. It's breaking now, breaking above. We're about equilibrium on the weekly now in that fair value gap. It's interesting because I've been waiting for a move like this for a while, so it's quite interesting. See it play out. Right, so we're getting into that fair value gap now, which is the weekly equilibrium. It's the monthly fib retracement. It's the previous weekly low. We're breaking above. So now the question is this candle going to close above in the next 15 minutes? That'll be interesting to see. On the hour, we can see we had the break above the 23, got into the touched the 38. We had the break 23 here, broke the we had a bit of consolidation, but break of structure on the 38. Now wherever that closes, you know what's forming here. is a nice little fair value gap after the break of structure on the 1 hour there, depending on where that price closes, which we do have 45 minutes to find out. So I'm not going to put it yet in, but that's what I'm looking at here. That fair value gap, quite an interesting area. And now in these lovely boxes, you can actually go and throw in the midline. Midline, there it is, like that. This is the 1 hour save as 1 hour fair value gap. Yes, please. And there it comes. There's the reaction, like we said, on the 0.5 of that fib move there. We have a lot of things there. Imagine trying to break through that. You have previous weekly low, previous daily high, 50% of a big move that happened on the 2nd of January. Now, there's going to be some potential momentum here. Two things can happen when you get to a level like this. Either momentum carries in your live session of the London Open, or we have a strong rejection and then we're looking to hunt for the previous low and sell side liquidity down there. So that'll be interesting. I want to throw in the Fibonacci stuff in there, just so I don't have to bring it up all the time. And we will know that this is the 50, 61.8, 76.4, and 38.2, which we broke. You see that how it broke? It broke with a bit of aggression, a bit of volume in there. Then 3 red candles, indicating that there's a failure of that. And then we had another aggressive push above the 38.2. As long as I'm entering above the 23.6, I'm expecting a push to the 0.5. And the good thing of getting low prices like this, you can manage back to sell side liquidity. If the price starts doing something like that, after it hits 23, you can manage out of that. And your analysis was wrong, let's say. But beautiful. Go back and watch the live from yesterday. You will see, if you haven't seen it, what we were talking about. It was exactly that, breaking that 23, going up to the equilibrium zone. The loyalty family. Happy 2024, Yanis. You stopped using session indicator. Asia high, Asia low, been purged. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, my 2023 reflections was that I don't necessarily need, like I said earlier here, we're forming this 1 hour fair value gap. You can think about it. I can get in this, right? And let's say I'm looking for 30 pips to the 76.9. Now, for me, let's say that was a good trade. My question is always like, how can I manage this? So I can look at this overall, all this picture, and I can understand if I can afford it or not, if repositioning is going to be quite tight, if it's going to be quite expensive for me to reposition. Is it a good idea to even get involved in this trade? And all the new stuff with the fundamentals I'm looking at, is it all lining up? If so, then my entry doesn't need to be precise to that minute. I mean, if I get it wrong, I'm not getting it wrong by 1 or 2, 3 pips. I'm getting it wrong by like 50 pips. So, and then I have to reposition. So what I'm trying, even though I like the silver bullet trades and the Asian highs and Asian lows, well, let's see. Let's put it on. Session on chart, there it is. Take some time to populate. Have I deleted everything? Oh, this is another one. This is the line version of that. Let me just turn off this. That's not the one, is it? Not this one. Sessions. Yeah, it's not that one. Give me a second. FX market sessions, I've got my silver bullet times, but I had another one. What did I do with it? Sessions on chart. I'm sure it was that one. Anyway, let's put the market sessions on. So this one I used for the New York silver bullet, London silver bullet, the AM silver bullet, PM silver bullet. Now, if I'm looking for opportunities, then I do like to put them on, because we know now whether in London silver bullet, so that fair value gap that we've identified is at the bottom of that silver bullet zone. So if we go onto the 1 hour, we can see that area here is pushing now in. We'll see how that plays out. The candle hasn't closed yet, so this is not a valid fair value gap yet. We have to see that close, and then that is a fair value gap. But I've put it there just so we can look at it. I do like indicators. I just haven't used them recently because my bias is so strong that I'm just looking at like a bigger setup. I'm saying, right, are we discounted down here? Yes. Okay. Do I want to get involved? Yes. When is a good time to get involved? When there's volume. When is there volume? During London Open. And yes, you get a bit more volume on London silver bullet and New York and Asian lows and Asian highs. But because I'm living in Asia, I actually see that live. So I am aware of what the price is doing. Let's look at, maybe I need to do a default on this. Go away. Let me do a default. To answer your question, I do like them. But I use them less as an indication to find a setup, if that makes sense. It's more like, oh, here we are. That's the Asian high, the Asian low. I'm slowing things down in the new year. Let's reset this. Yeah, that's not the one. Why is it not there? Day of the week. I deleted it. Sessions. What was his name? I have to go back to my videos and see. The one I liked. FX market sessions. Unless I change the FX market sessions. Let me do this one. My script. What script is that? Look at me coding. Hey, there you are. The loyalty family. We've got it all back. I remember now what I did. I've basically took the took my favorite one, which is the FX market sessions by Boy Toki, changed it all up, saved it as a script. And what you can do with that is you have your script on, but then you also can throw on your blah 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 FX market session. And that way you don't not only have the sessions, but you have also the silver bullet. But it gets quite messy, doesn't it? So let's turn this off now. Oh, that was off. Let's get the fibs out. I want to keep that 50 in. I'm going to take this off. That's the 38. So yeah, if we go down on a 15, now we can see the sessions: Tokyo high, Asia high, Sydney, New York. And I remember I had changed the timings for me This is based on GMT time, so 8 London until 5, which is the whole session. 1 till 2 UK time for the New York. Tokyo, I got it from 12 till 9. I think I didn't use the Tokyo, I just used the Asia session, Sydney session. So from 8 o'clock till 5. Yeah, so that will be taking out the highs, because technically we're still in the Tokyo session, but this is like the beginning of, so 8 p.m. last night until 5 a.m. today. That's what I used, which is the close of the New York. It's the equal high with the New York session, which is interesting. Double top there. Use one for the Lux Algo. Ooh. Yeah, I do like them. It gives you a nice indication of where you are on the silver bullet stuff. I do like them. Like, since we are in the silver bullet time, for the silver bullet people out there, what are you looking for right now? Question. There's a nice little fair value gap there. And then we've got the big fair value gap of the hourly, but on the 5 minute, that would jump up to there. Right, so we have those two fair value gaps. Just gonna, what's this one? Take that out. Hi Janice, nice to see you too. Nice to see you too. So here's a question that you always get, right? This fair value gap or this fair value gap? Which fair value gap do you use for the silver bullet? Let's do a poll and see how many ICT people we have here. First or second? Let's see what people think. We had a one vote and then it got taken out. It's like, no, maybe not first. 3 votes. First, take it out. People are not sure. So the question is, and you can click on the vote, do I take this entry or this entry if I'm doing the silver bullet? First, because the second one is a breakaway gap. Okay, break of structure, you mean? Like break of structure. Let's see what everyone thinks. 71% of people think the first fair value gap is where you should be taking for a long position. And remember, silver bullet, how many pips are we looking for? We are looking for a minimum of 15 pips. So if you took the midline there, you would be hunting for that. And in reality, you're probably looking for 20, right? Unless you're scalping for 10. But let's put that in. Where is it? Where's my little tool thing? There it is. So if I did, that's the one I'm looking for. Hasn't taken the high. Oh, we just took the high now slightly. So we're looking for 15 minimum. That would take you to there. Which, what's on the left side of that? Let's look at the hour. Look at that, into that fair value gap there. So that would be, these are the big third three candles down here. And then obviously you've got a second one, which would be from this one if it got down to there. Simple stuff. And this would be profits. Let's go back to the 5 minute. Happy New Year, Rafa. Hi, gentlemen, saying hi after a long time. It has been a long time. But this is the second day we're live, guys. We've got some momentum on our side. That EMA of the lives is looking good. So, the big question on the votes, if you haven't voted, we're 40 people in here. Let's get a few more votes on the poll. It's quite, look at this, 60% are saying the first, and 40% of the voters are saying the second. The question is, would you take this one as an entry on the silver bullet or the second? Testing you on your ICT knowledge this morning. I had missed the music from the lives, so I always get a good vibe when I'm listening to this music trading. Right, here we go. It's approaching. I'm going to close the vote when we get into one of these fair value gaps and see what's going to happen. At the moment, it's quite shared. Interesting. Interesting. 6 people think first, 6 people think the last. I haven't got Ragnar to do the big drum roll yet. He's missing, but the music's there. Do you remember Ragnar? Ragnar's not there yet because I've used a different camera. But we have 15 votes. 57 think the first, and 47% think the second fair value gap. So we will see, because we're actually going to see this live, what's going to happen. So it's going to be interesting to see if you got it right. We haven't tapped into it yet, so we're going to close the vote on 20 votes. So 3 more votes and we'll close that. And then I'll give you my take from my ICT knowledge. Oh, look at that wick. Back up at that 50%. $19 votes is very close, 53% versus 47. Let's do one more vote and I'll close the poll. Oh my God, are you kidding me? 50-50. So out 20 votes. This is so interesting for me because a lot of people trade silver bullet, and 50% would take this one, another 50% of the. So 50% of you, or us, is going to be wrong, right? Because there's only one way to trade the silver bullet, and you can argue, well, there's multiple ways to trade the silver bullet, but actually how Michael taught it, there's only one way to trade the silver bullet. So that's interesting that we've got 50-50. ICT, Sibi, 3 to 4 a.m., right? SB, do you mean silver bullet, sorry, 3 to 4 a.m. I've got it. Which one you mean? The UK one? 3 till 4. I've got it an hour on that. So, I made the last vote just for the 50. Okay, so we had probably like 51% long on the first silver vote. First fair value gap. And if you did say the first, you would be correct. So the correct would be taking the first fair value gap within the silver bullet time zone. Now this came very close, but it didn't actually get into the fair value gap. Oh, there it is. Bit of bullishness coming through. Let me see where we're sitting. Dun, dun, dun. I'm trading my Darwin X on my phone and my 250,000 account. I will get back into trading live with you guys, but for now I'm just doing it on my phone because I don't want to get influenced negatively during the lives. But I will start bringing some trades in. So you can see stuff live. You can also see my repositioning. Oh, there we go. What's this? Let's see what we've done. Hasn't hit the fair value gap though. Done 6 pips. If you go on to the 1 minute, now you've got equal lows here, right? And that's what I mean. I was chatting. Is this the one you're trading? London Silver Bullet, bro. Yeah, I normally trade London, but I do find setups in the pre-market. I guess here's the Silver Bullet, 7 o'clock. But I have all day in Asia. So if I see something, like for instance, I found an entry somewhere down here. It was like early time for UK. It was my morning. So bagus, as they say in Bali. The benefits of being in Asia, right? And trading the London session. The only thing you miss is New York. And to be honest, I don't like trading New York. So happy days. I do like trading New York when I've got an entry into in Asia or London. I do like that second volatility to make sure I'm either recovering what I did or I'm pushing, I'm getting more positions in. Let's get the likes up, guys. We are hitting high levels. Let's try and beat yesterday's likes. I think it was like 30 likes. Quite depressing. And it's my fault. I haven't been trading for a while live, so I guess YouTube is giving me the punishment of not being live. I won't push your content when you're being lazy and not being selfish and not going live because you want to trade better. But I have missed you though. I have missed you guys. I have missed these sessions. I do love trading though. That's the thing. And I do love reading price action. I do love, and we're going to go now into detail about the week because some people missed the live session yesterday. And as you know, I do work on a cool Excel sheet for the COD data, for fundamentals, and that's where we found that Euro CAD situation. We also looked at the pound dollar, how we're actually quite neutral on that stuff. But obviously this is the Excel sheet, and then you've got the PMT, which I've subscribed to, which I do really like. So if we look now what we're looking on the pound dollar, we can just throw that on there quickly. Not very quickly because the terminal takes a second. Oh, not bad actually. Seasonality on the pound dollar at the moment is bearish. yeah, December was very, but you can see here the news, neutral news. I would say, even though it's indicating bearish on the fundamental side, and what I mean by fundamental side, I'm talking about actual fundamental data like the M2 reports. If you go to like macro news, you can see here, if we look at money, we can see interest rates, we can see money supply, this one M2, and you can go and look at the data. This is all public data, you can get it for free, but I do like paying for this and having it all in my ease, if you want. GDP growth, we can see how it went from the quarter in 2022 to 2023. So now we're hitting levels of 2.5s. The annual growth, how it slowed down, and now we're stagnating on that 2.1s. Yeah, really cool stuff. Now, do I need to know all this? No, because in my overview, it's taking all that into account. It's also taking the dumb money, DXM, which is us. What are we doing? You want to see, if you're long, you want to see this being short. You want to see the retail people, the 90% of the people out there being short, right? Because you want to be with the institutions, and the institutions are the COD data. Less of the data that comes every weekend. Friday, you'll get a release of all the positions on the currency pair that you're trading. And we can see that here. Net positions. And you can see how many longs. The most important things about COD data, guys, and I strongly believe if you don't like fundamental trading, the only fundamental trading that you should focus on is the COD data, because it's like someone telling you, here's a secret about what the institution's positions are. It's like insider trading, pretty much. This is obligation for institutional traders and big like banks and so on to tell us what their positions are. And we can see that they've increased the long positions on the pound. I'm looking at the COD historic data of the pound here, from 9% to 12%. So there's an increase in long positions. What is that telling us? That they're believing that the pound dollar is going to go higher. We can see that here, 22.7K versus 15.4. And the dollar, we've got it down here, dollar and pound. The dollar, there's only short positions. And that hasn't changed. You can see that. Now, even though we know that there's short positions, what can we look at? We can look at the rate of what size position they have. And we can see they've decreased massively their positions. So that's saying that it's slowing down, right? So we're slowing down from 60% into 19.3% of their allocations of the whole portfolio is allocated to shorting the USD. Why is that? Why are they decreasing the numbers of shorts? Do they know something that we don't know? These are questions that we need to start thinking about. And as you can see, all the data here, I like this graph because you can see it quite nicely. And before we do that, let's quickly look at the pound dollar to see what's happening. Where are you, pound dollar? There you are. So we broke above. Do you know what? I just like having the Fibonacci on there, so I'm just going to throw it back on. I know it looks a little bit messy for you guys, but I'm going to be selfish. Well into that 0.5 to 6, the golden zone of the Fibonacci. Now we're looking, is that going to give you, it yet hasn't given that entry, right? On the 5 minute. Came close, but it hasn't given it yet. Now, weekly high, we just tested it. Well, actually, this has been the weekly high. This is the weekly high into premium for the week. This is where interest for the short sides comes in. So I see this is like trading. Yeah, it's information following the big guys. You're absolutely right. So I've got 2 sheets. One, this is I paid a developer to give me this because I was very lazy to put all this data by myself. It's just crazy what you have to track in order to get the sheet to do whatever you want. Like I just don't have time. I'm not a fundamental trader. I'm a day trader. So I just look at like that interests me, which is the summary pretty much. And you've got loads and loads of different analysis that goes into this. And you can see how many tabs are here. Yeah, so I just got it. I look at it once a week, and it pinpoints out useful information. But because this is a manual sheet, I know that there could be errors in there. Maybe not a lot. I'm sure the guy does a good job, but I can't rely on someone else inputting data 100% in case there's some errors. That's why I purchased the PMT, because then if my sheet is saying something and I can see this on here and it's actually telling me the same thing, then I've got a strong indication that, okay, the data is good, I can rely on it. But what's that noise? I can hear a noise. Give me a second. Can you hear it? Could I share the sheet on Discord? Give me a second. I can hear a bloody noise. What's that? Got no idea where that noise is coming from. It's really annoying. Let me change. Give me 1 second.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem damn patty. Gotta keep on chugging. Ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed heavy. Got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that. It's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up. I'm trying to get it an FT to get them in their hand and crypto. Learn how to fix that. I don't really hold out of books, but I'ma learn how to fix that. Some opportunities are never come unless you paying attention. So no, I can't miss that. Moving. MVP, I got the record. I might have to prove something. Big jumper worthy. They gon' have to retire my jersey early. Whole crew coming. Had to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket. Yeah, I did all that. Big plans. Partners trying to make profits. Yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no wins. Yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen. Putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my big dog walking big talk. Young veteran, living legend, bet I'm better than them. This is my ship. I'm a jacket like Letterman. Y'all better not let them in. They gon' rotate this, so I keep the pedaling. Started a chain. The cycle is heaven sent. This is from God, but I'm not your reverend. Not in the pulpit. I'm a pit bull in this element. Yeah, said you gon' pull up, then settle it. Yeah, I've been married to this hustle. This is my ring. Watch out, step in it. Yeah, and I ain't even got a yard, but I'ma get it here. Watch out, touchdown. Pulling plans out the clutch. Everybody getting crushed. The cut down is for us now. Have to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket. Yeah, I did all that. Big plans. Partners trying to make profits. Yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no wins. Yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen. Putting hours in my practice. I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my. Yeah. Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah.
Hey, so I have like a really bleeping noise in my, I don't know where it's coming from. It sounds like something is not clicking right. I don't know how I've got that noise in there. Trying to fix it, but let me see. So annoying. Sorry guys, that's what happens when you don't have your high-tech studio yet. But we're gonna have to work with this, I guess. Gonna get a headache after this. Okay, so can you hear me now? Just let me know if you've got sound. I'll try and ignore that noise in my ear. If someone says A, then we'll know. So let's go back to this one, the pound dollar that we were talking about. We have yet to break into the fair value gap. Obviously now we've got multiple 5 minutes. What happens if you haven't broken into that fair value gap? Nothing there. Literally that is the area where for the silver bullet. But if we turn on the silver bullet indicator, which is FX, yeah, sound is good. Oh, I'm so sorry guys, this is so annoying in my ears. It's gonna distract me a lot. I guess I could take the headphones off and do it without music. I think I'm gonna do that because this is ridiculous. I think you can hear me, but I can't hear the music. That's okay. Do it without music. So we can see we're trying to get back into that fair value gap now. We did have a weekly high that it went to. We're still in the silver bullet. Look at that. We're closing in, but we're still hunting that fair value gap now. Now I went on a little break so I can fix the sound, which I haven't. We were talking about the fundamentals. And how about sharing that Excel sheet for the Vanguards who are my paid members into my Vanguard. I literally posted the first one. Let me see if I can show you. I posted the first part of that sheet. I paid quite a bit of money for that, so obviously I'm not just going to share that in there. And also, I technically can't because obviously we have the free version, which is the guild hall, and this is where you will find people with blue names, and these are all the like the Flippin' Fox, the cool name of Flippin' Fox. These are all the guys that the Discord is for free. You can jump in and you can have some cool, you can get into your trading floors, you can have your voice calls, but I'm not very involved in, I have to be honest, I don't really go into the free one. But then we have the Vanguards, which is the membership one, and in here we have all the Zoom calls. We've got 22 now Zoom calls that we've done. Every Wednesday we do a live Q&A with me. You ask me any question. I normally do some presentation around repositioning, psychology, all the good stuff. This the weekly Q&A. You can find all the recordings in here. The other one now is something new that I put in there, is the fundamental bias. And this is something that I'll show you this one, for instance. This is something that I analyze from my sheet. And for this week, certain areas were showing as long or short bias. This, again, I'm going to stress, it doesn't mean that because this says here, for instance, Aussie dollar, long position on endogenous data, on exogenous data long, that means that we've got a convergence of bias for long. Because there's a convergence of bias on long, you can actually go a bit higher on your size that you would normally trade, and forecast is like a long bias. So I'm going to post that every week. But these are my selections from the analysis of the sheet. These have every single pair, and I did put a disclaimer there in the Discord that this is, this is not for you to use this as taking bias for longs or short in the day, but this is what the indication of the fundamental information is showing, that potentially in the next 1 to 2, 3 months, this might be the end of, because we saw the USD COT data, and this is where we can have a look at that. COT data, we saw that there's a decrease in the USD holdings as we are getting into the new year. So yes, everything is short, but actually there's a decrease, right? Only 4,000 positions compared to a 22,000 on the pound dollar. 4,000, if you compare that to 21,000, 22,000s, we have dropped in the shorts on the USD dollar on the information that comes from the commodity, so the institutional traders. So this is something that I'm going to pay attention to. So the only thing that I'm stressing on the Discord, especially on the Vanguard, is there we go. Martin is already in there. You can see him there. Useful description for each of your columns. Yeah, so that's another thing about how the chart is created and everything. That is a bit of a hidden sort of from the creator. Like he won't. All this data is what's it called? All this data is publicly available. So you can go and get all the M2 data, you can go and get everything. But I asked for, can you do a summary where I just want to know this, basically, each week, a summary of that. So he created something amazing that I'm going to use, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to only rely on that, because I can't see the data like Martin is saying. Can I see the back end of the data? I can't see that data. So then I'm going to use this as my back end. This is quite expensive. It's, what do I pay? I pay $139 for a month. But if you compare that to like a Bloomberg terminal, it's really, really cheap. And it works for me. So I've got all the information that I need. I do like the big overview here. That doesn't mean that I look at this bearish, and I go short on the pound dollar. No, that's not what it is. As you can see here, the COD data is neutral at the moment. That's the most important stuff. Both COD data on pound and USD, there's no clear indication. If you change it to something like, let's say, like a more exotic pair, you will find, it's going to take me out. Let me just log in quickly. So you will find that on certain pairs, you will find it. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Still didn't get into the fair value gap though, but we're taking the weekly highs, and now we're creating new weekly highs. And just log in quickly. I did ask if they could do something for my for the guys that are in the Vanguard. That's why I've put it there. Prime time terminal, the discount conscious day trader. I think they give you 15% for that. Let me see. That didn't go in. Why is that? Constant. But like I said, do you need this? No. Is it a big faff to get all that data? Absolutely yes. If I didn't have access to this, there's no way I'll be looking at I would be interested in any fundamental, just because the amount of work that you have to go. For instance, the ISM PMI data that came out yesterday, you would have to go and put that into your sheet. Then there would be the M2 supply, the quarterly M2 supply that comes out, or you could do it monthly. You would have to write down what that money is, what that means, how does that weigh in with your endogenous analysis and your exogenous analysis, it would take like, I don't know, 6 to 7 hours each week to, and I'm not clever enough to make like algorithms to do that. So I just paid a fixed fee. I was like, do it for me, and there we go. But yeah, let's see if it works now. Let's do like a New Zealand. Look at the overview. Quite heavy indication there on the DXM, which is the dumb money concepts index, if you want. There you got 85% of traders are currently long in the New Zealand Euro New Zealand. So what does that tell you? Just stay away from longs. If 85% of the people are positioned long, you don't want to be taking positions against that. Again, you can see quite neutral on the COD data as well. The Aussie dollar is something that I was been looking, because my sheet told me that it was good for long positions, and it actually worked out really, really well. Now it's neutral, right? And even started to look at negative news data here. I do like this one as well. I don't like reading news, but I do like, look at this. This is tracking negative. So there's an algorithm that will go through the chart and determine if it's negative, positive, or neutral for the like the WTI extends gains. That's positive for the Aussie, especially if you start looking at currencies that are related to like commodities. When you start looking at what currency is denominated to, is a heavily exporter of copper, for instance, or something like that, because that would weigh up on the price of what's going on into the pair. But do you need to know this? Probably not if you're a technical analyst, but I would like to be, without doing all the analysis, because I can afford it. I'll pay that, and then I've got all these analysis on one dashboard. I could just look at it, and you can see how positive increases, negative increases. You can see in neutral zones are quite on the 20th of November. We had a lot of positive news on the Aussie dollar. Then you can go onto your charting, and obviously I pay the maximum on the trading view, so I do everything on trading view. And we can look at the seasonality. Seasonality is something that I really, really like. Look at that, January. In the last 5 Januaries is returned red performances on the Aussie dollar. So even though we've had a strong long position for the pair, would it be clever to start shorting this when you to longing this when you know that you've had a December that's been long, and you've had January historical data that is quite red? So that is quite an indication for me that even though the analysis of the sheet is showing me that it's a long opportunity on the Aussie dollar, we saw the news, they're quite neutral. We see the seasonality is quite red. We know the COD data is quite neutral. But then if you look deeper into the COD data of the Aussie dollar, you can see that we're starting to decrease in positions of longs. You see that? We've gone from 54%, and these are weeklies, 14, 21, 28. So weekly data, we have been decreasing from the 14th of the 11th all the way down from 54 to 37%. So institutional trading knows something. I'll leave them in there just so we can see. And it didn't give you 15 pips, so you wouldn't be able to take that trade. If that makes sense. Good morning, Marcel. Marcel is our great person who is moderating the Discord as well. Oh, now we're in. It's outside of the fair value gap. So now, if you are taking the fair value gap up to 5 o'clock, So I take it from 7 to 8. You're technically, look at that, in the fair value gap now. So that will be interesting to see. Like we saw on the votes, 50% were saying to take this fair value gap. The other 50% were saying to take this fair value gap. Dollar rebounds as traders pair Fed rate cuts bets. Reaction on the fair value gap now. So now we're going to see if this is going to deliver 15 pips. Silver bullet is a very, very, very simple setup. You just wait for the fair value gap, get the fair value gap, and then it's either going to work or not. Unless you are someone like me who would reposition this downwards, but I'm already in buying position, so I'm not looking for an entry now. But look at that reaction, guys, on the fair value gap. So it has done, let's see what we've done. We have done 5 pips so far. That's why the 5 minutes gets you excited, but it's actually a 5 pip move. So the green zone would be 15 pips if you actually pushed up there. Guys, if you are finding value out of this, because I think this would be quite valuable for me, make sure you like the stream. That's the only thing that's your kind of give back to me. And also, if there's more likes, more people watch it, it's more worth me doing this. Look at that. We called it. We called it. Moving. So that would have been already, that went to roughly 9 to 10 pips, I believe. We can see that on the 5 minute, I guess. Outside the zone of my silver bullet time. So technically you're not taking that trade. But as you can see, it did have a reaction. It gave you 10 pips. So once again, can you argue with ICT? Things like this work. Yeah, so going back to what we were talking about, we'll jump back into the pound dollar. I just want to see quickly what we were talking about, the euro CAD, because I said the indication was that it's short, right? Boom, look at that. Jesus. What time was that? That was 6 o'clock a.m. We had a short down to the weekly lows, and now it's pushing back up. It's my sheet indicated that EuroCAD, which is 19, I believe, EuroCAD short opportunity because of the endogenous, and actually this is the most opportunity, if you want the best opportunity to trade that from this sheet. So the other one that I've been looking is the Aussie dollar, and what I do, anything that I find interesting from this sheet, then I will pile it all up, and like Martin was chatting there in the fundamentals, I'll throw it there in the week, and then like I said, it's not a signal service. It's more for us to discuss why and what does that mean. How can we get a better understanding of what endogenous data means for the pound dollar, which means basically all the fundamental data that comes around the UK. The UK as an industry and as a country, and all the stuff that comes out that affect the pound. And we can go in a lot of detail of the fundamentals, but a lot of people find it boring, so I won't do that. I do that in the Q&A with the guys, and they don't fall asleep, which is quite impressive. What's more important, on endogenous or exogenous? Very good question. So the most important thing when we're trading a pair dominating to the USD, right? We're not talking about exotics, but if we're talking about the USD, then the USD overrules anything to do with, and you'll see that. Look at this, USD data, 30 minus 30 endogenous. So that is heavily, this is the USD data here. So this will be the predominant information that matters, is all to do with the dollar. Because until something happens and we have Bitcoins and all that, dollar is going to be the currency that's going to move the pairs. So if you're trading pound dollar, the exogenous fundamental information would be about the dollar. So then if the dollar is, and then you can go back to like what we were discussing. This is why I do like getting an overall. Look how long it took. It took a while, this one. I need to complain to them. But it looks like they are short positions. Like we said, we were predicting that most of the people will be short, even though the dumb money, if you want, institutional trading, because the institutions are all longing the pair. We saw that in the overview now, but we saw that most positions are set on long on the Aussie dollar, but they are starting to decrease their long positions. So that's telling us that something is changing, or they are starting to hedge because the profits are quite big. So they're starting to hedge their positions so they can easily get out if they see something changing on the fundamentals of the Aussie dollar. But as we can see at this moment of time, the last week we had a long bias on the Aussie dollar, and we can see that now they're starting to look quite neutral, and the 4 neutral longs actually are still long. So that would be another fear to go long, because a lot of people are from recreational trader are longing the Aussie dollar. COD data pretty even for both USD and Aussie. So that's another indication that, okay, this is not a good pair at the moment. Even though the sheet was telling me it's a good pair, I don't want to touch this. What else did we look? We look at, let's look at this one actually. CHF USD. CHF USD. And because of the live stream and everything else, this is going to take some time to load. Oh, there we go. So this is interesting. So we have quite bullish. Let's see. DXM, we've got a lot of people are bullish from the retail world. Quite neutral on the COD data. You can see here the EMAs are all pushing it down, which is showing weakening of the USD compared to the franc. Overall, we're getting like a negative sort of area. These are the news stuff. But what is interesting, I want to go back to the sheet. So USD CHF, let me find it in the proper USD. USD JPY. Oh, there it is. This one. So USD New Zealand. No. There it is. So quite a short opportunity for this double side. So that's quite good. We can see here the endogenous and exogenous convergence on both. So this is quite interesting. Quite interesting. USD CHF. So we're getting bearish indications on the fundamentals of the sheet, but however, the dumb money is also short. Oh, it says long here. Okay, that's good. So yeah, there's short indications on the Excel sheet on the fundamental side, and recreational traders are long. So that is what you want to see. Now seasonality, what about that? Seasonality, we've got quite long positions compared to December. Look at that. That's interesting. And then let's look at the COD data. We know the dollar stuff because we looked at it, but let's look at the franc stuff. Okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. So the COD data has been decreasing long positions on CHF and stabilizing on around 12 to 7. Now it's increased the short position. So yeah, this would be something like, if I had traded before, I would be looking at and creating a bit of bias on that from what that information has given me, right? And I haven't even looked at the chart yet. So this is all fundamental knowledge that is coming before I open the chart. So then I can go up and find my chart. Pound dollar, what's it doing? It's come back into that fair value gap. Hasn't taken the highs. Hasn't moved higher than that 10 pips. So we'll keep an eye on that. So what was it? CHF. I want to do it from a USD perspective. So USD CHF, that's my base. Let's add that one in there. Already. So now we're seeing a bullish move, right? Which is interesting because everything was showing bearishness on that from a fundamental perspective. So if you wanted to be bearish on this, where would you probably be bearish? Depending on your appetite for risk. We have seen that push has come down, equal lows there, broke below, it's come back up. So we can see here a lot of interest on the previous daily high, previous weekly high, and then we've got premium here with equal highs on 0.87. So again, like the euro, I wouldn't be touching this until I see something that looks more premium, right? Even though it's saying that's a nice bearish opportunity there, I wouldn't touch it because I don't know how the pair reacts. I would though get interested if next week, early next week, this price has come up to 0.86. And that's how you can start bringing fundamentals into trading. In terms of for me for pound USD shows wrong percentages. It all depends on what you're using, Bonnie, for seasonality. You won't be getting the same percentages. These are based on seasonality. Here we go. This is based on the 5 last years of the percentage of that. So I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't. It depends where they're getting your data from, what broker you're using. There's lots of things that would come, but as long as you're consistent with what you're using, you would be looking at the similar patterns with that. Oh, you're saying you've got the PMT data. Seems off for me for. It shows wrong percentages. Well, that will be interesting. So you're saying you're seeing this, but you're seeing different numbers? That would be interesting if you've got different data. We had a nice overbit on Eurodollars and PMT for GU. Yeah, for GU, Martin is quite neutral at the moment. Which doesn't mean that you can't take long or short trades. It just means that do you know what? Bonnie has given me an idea now to test these percentages. So after this, I'm going to go and check I take it for granted, but imagine if they're doing wrong data. That would be, I can't imagine though, because they're very, it's a very expensive software, so they wouldn't put wrong data in there. They would close down very quickly. Make sure you're on the right tab, right? So you're on, I know it sounds obvious, but you're on the pound dollar tab. And you are looking at the last 5 years, and that's the average of that. But yeah, what else we got on the pound dollar? What about news? We talked about the actual events. So we're on the 4th now. Obviously, the USD data is going to impact the pound dollar heavily, so we need to be aware of that. Unemployment rates, non-farm payroll is the biggest news of the month, so we need to be looking at that. Yeah, just eyeballed it on the seasonality tab, shift and drawn in percentages with the trading view tool. Right, so that would be a problem with the brokers. So the trading view, depending on what you're using, you would have to ask the PMT what raw data they're using, and then you would be able to make a direct comparison with that. Because trading view, if you use FXM or if you use Wanda, they would give you completely different data points, if that makes sense. Range is quite a good one. It gives you sort of the quarterly, in a weekly form. It will give you the seasonality, or not seasonality, of what the quarterly last 13 bars has done. You can see there what we had with the pound dollar. We've had that really big push last year, which I had my 6 months of all green days, and then I got caught in that I literally took the high on this, and I got caught, lost about 22,000 on that. Absolutely horrendous trade, but I didn't expect that big of a drop with all of the analysis that I had done. Shield from that, and now look, we've pretty much nearly recovered the base of that. So quite interesting to see what we're looking for in the future for the pound. The biggest knowledge you have is your own trading from last year. I have experience of having extremely amazing returns on here, and it also happened to be very bullish for the pound dollar, and then I got wrecked on this trade here because I didn't close it for $2,000 loss. I draw down all the way, all my profits from 23,000 profits to like 22,000 loss. So that's an indication that from like July, actually when was it? It was July until 25th of September. It was a time where the pound plummeted. If you were in long positions there, you'd have a tough time. And that's a long time. So as a trader, I have now 2.5 years experience. I was just reading there, MES. Hey man, I remember watching you almost the whole last year on your huge winning streak. I miss those daily lives. Yeah, that was great. It's good to be back live. I'm gonna say it's feeling quite good to be back doing this, and it keeps me on my toes as well, like things like questions like Bonnie. For example, it shows 2023 November data 0% on, but if you measure it on the chart, it was about 3.8. Let's look at that. Let's look at that together. Not that one. Give it a second for it to load. So we've got monthly data here. Let's see what we're doing. PMT, we'll go to seasonality. So we've got 2024, 2023, 015. 2023, that's the 11th of 1st is 3.87. December, January. So January. Just getting my brain together, start thinking what we're doing. So let's look at this. So let's go back to 20. So the second, third, fourth. Okay, so this gives you the daily. Is that right? That's the daily. 12 first. So you're saying on the 3.8, that 3.8 is on the 11th. Is that what you're referring to? So what we would have to do is download this data, which I might do afterwards, and you would have to add up all these days for the 1st of January to see. There we go. So 23. All right, I'll do it now. So let's do it quickly so we can see for 2023 January. So we should see, I feel quite embarrassed of judging them, but it's good to do this. 0.15 we're looking for. So we would be doing so 1.84 minus 2.44 plus 2.60 plus 194. How quickly is that downloaded? Probably more accurate to do it like that. I downloaded the data. It is in months, days, years. This is in US, so this would be month. Is that right? Oh yeah, it is actually. So this would actually be the 1st of each month. I think that's correct. 1st of each month. Right, so what I'll do is I'm going to drop them a message with a screenshot of this. Because when you pay the premium, you get access to like a Telegram where you can chat to them and say. So I'm gonna query that, Bonnie. If you're here tomorrow, I'll probably get an answer for you on that, because I want to know as well if there's something wrong there. But I kind of understand what you're saying. Like, that shouldn't say, unless I'm missing something. This is the whole year here, right? So December 2023 should be 0.87. 2023 0.61. So yeah, that will be interesting to ask why. Good Good point. Let's both send them a message and see if they freak out and they're like, oh my God, it's wrong. Imagine that. I'll be like, give me the refund right now. So there, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Whilst we've been talking about fundamentals, the silver bullet has delivered again. A lovely 15.5 pips. Decent. Chatting too much, not checking the trades. That's not a good sign. Let's see what's happening. Cool. No, that's good. That's good. So we went to the highs there of, if we hover over the candle, we can see it here. It will tell you the high. We got 1269.70. Nice. Let's put that one on there. 1269.70 as a high. $3.87 is correct for November, so PMT is confusing. Yeah, I'm gonna take. I'm certainly gonna check this. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that, which is the pound dollar. So 3 and 2. I'm hoping I misunderstood something, but to be fair, it doesn't look right, does it? So I'll drop them a text and see what's going on there. So yesterday we also talked about the gold, right? So let's see what happened to that. I think we saw it, or was it on your wonder? I think we talked about that. Fair value gap there. If you look at this, you can already see that that is pretty much in the golden zone. Don't need to put the fib in there. Touch the 0.5. So this is an interesting area now, because the short opportunities are recalibrated for lowers if people are looking to go low. But you could argue, if you're in the long position, that this is a breather. However, remember we had this huge explosion on the 13th of December to the upper side with the gold because of the interest rates. So we broke above this monthly level quite aggressively. We haven't come yet to retest it. So is this a nice entry or area opportunity for people to be looking to take this all the way through this level down to that monthly level? So that will be interesting to see. On gold, however, everyone was so excited about taking those monthly highs and seeing if it could go higher. Yes, are you going to be live again daily? Yeah, so the plan is to do 2 hours. How many hours have we done now? We started on 3, so we've got another 20 minutes. So I'm going to do 2 hours a day, and I'm literally going to talk through all I'm seeing like this, about what pairs I'm in and so on. And then there will be occasions where, if I'm in a position where I'm pretty much managing it and there's no stress about actually finding the entry, I will show you the live trades as well. But I don't want to be using the live session as finding entries. Now, if there are occasions where I'm actually trading in the background, for instance, I haven't got an entry and it's London Open, then yeah, maybe I will show some trades, but it won't be that previous thing, coming on, turning on screens, trying to find the entries whilst you have 300 people watching you. That can be a bit not the best for performance-wise, if that makes sense. CVIT, good to see you live back on. Appreciate that. Talking about appreciation, let's get those lives up. Lives? I'm bringing the lives up, the likes up. We are doing well, I have to say. people, 40 people at 36 likes, but that is 40 people that are just watching now. So you might have not liked. I would appreciate if you do like. Try and break yesterday's likes, which was quite depressing. 35 likes. We're on that level though. We're good. I made some good bag on your trades. Oh, good. That wasn't my intention, Emirs, and that should never be your intention either. You should never make money off signals, because the problem is, like when I left and stopped doing lives, how are you going to get those signals? And also, if you're trying to do this, and we had a great discussion. Like, I think it was one of my favorite discussions in the Discord with the Vanguard in the last meeting we had yesterday. Everyone was really open about where they are with their trading, with their accounts, what their plans are for 2024. It was just awesome, like real talk, not this, we'll make this and do this, and this is how I'm going to do it, and how I'm going to be a billionaire. No, it was real talk. Like, this is where I am. This is where I can't say that. Effed up. Oh, this is where I did well. And it felt, to be honest, it felt quite good, because I was talking to Marcel. I don't know if Marcel is still here. About the Discord, what I wanted it to be, and now it's actually a community, so it's not only me, it's what the community wants. So a lot of discussions around what that will be like, but the reality is, I'm a trader who's full-time trading. Solely my income is from trading, right? And there's people in there that want to make it their full-time job, and it's bloody tough. It is bloody tough. It's not easy. I found that the hard way last year. Even though I had an amazing year, going from 100,000 to 250,000 of funded accounts, there was challenges. There was a lot of challenges, and you've seen them. There was a lot of the videos are live when those challenges were going on. So I was double thinking, like during Christmas, like, do I want to spend more time on these like Discords and stuff? But actually, it helps me as well, having this community, the Vanguard community. And yeah, it's just, we're all on the same, we're trying to do the same thing. We're trying to be financial free from day trading or weekly trading or whatever you're doing. So it's quite nice to know that once a week you can come up, jump in, talk to people who are doing well, get motivated by people doing well. You can find, it's almost like that friend hug, or when someone's not doing that great and you're like, actually, I'm not doing that great either. And then you can have that camaraderie. Maybe potentially you can avoid situations by talking to people, because a lot of the times I did have a member, and all the Vanguards will remember this. One of our members, a really nice member, who left the group because he was struggling with his trading, but he never spoke up to say that I'm struggling. He let it go too far, and then the glass tipped over with all the stress and everything that was going on in his life, and he disappeared without much notice. So especially when you have someone you're starting building relationships and you're having those connections, you're like, hey, like, we could have done something about that. Maybe that wasn't the last straw that was pulled. We could have, as a community, and a lot of people messaged me, a community, and I was quite surprised that people cared that much for the individuals in there. So when I got the messages saying, hey, like, where is this guy? I haven't seen him. Is he okay? I was like, okay, we've got a good group. You change your strategy, you do something else. When you're actually doing it for a living, you can sense when someone's doing it for a living, because I don't know. I can sense when someone is actually making money from trading and is doing it for real. I don't know about you guys. You can smell them far away. From the language they're using, the way they're talking about trading. So in other words, I'm super proud of that group and the guys in there. And my aim for that group, I said it last year, is to beat the 1%. We have to be realistic. if there's 100 members in that group, if we take the statistics, 90% of those people are gonna lose. So that's one person. I don't like that stat. I think we can do better than that. So out of 100 people, if we can get 10 or 20 or even 30, like a 30%, from what we're learning, because we're not only looking at charts, we're looking at how to do psychology, NLP, parts work. If we can breach that 1%, and we can be modest with that, you can potentially, a lot of the time trading, and for me, when I became funded and I was making quite good money, it was the belief. That's the start. It was the belief that I could do it. And that belief never left me. And a lot of people in the group, we just have to get you out of that limiting belief that you have, that this is just a side thing and it will never become the real thing, because I've blown so many accounts. Think about it, guys. Most of the failures that you're facing is in your first year of your career, and then you quit, or 2 years or 3 years. Now think of your normal career. I was a data analyst for like 12 years. Was I a good analyst in my first, second, third year? No. But would I quit? No, because I'm employed. The problem you have with trading is that you are the person who's going to fire you, because there's no one else there above you. Okay, you have let's say you're a prop firm trader, you lose an account, then you're fired. But you're the only person who's going to fire you. So it's hard to keep motivated when you're getting hit. One time, caring about signals, and they're not caring. They have a strong intention that as a group, we can do better. If you can find a group like that, then I think it's very beneficial. The Scruffy group was so good for me. And I still like good friends with most of the Scruffy squad there. Like amazing community. And this is what we're trying to build as well. It's like a community where you can trust people, you can be vulnerable. There's no taboos about, I lost 2,000 yesterday, I'm an idiot. No. There's learnings on every single way of your path as a trader. But you have to have the people around you, one that believe you can do it, one that they're going to call you out when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, not like as police, but more out of care, and also the knowledge that is required to make it happen. And that is very hard because it's very individual. So you have to find and understand learn from your inner world first. You have to learn what you need to become the trader you need to be. And there's so many things you can do about that, especially with the help of NLP. But when you find it, I can tell you, because I've been there, when you find that and you understand your limiting beliefs, you understand your limiting capacity around technicals and like fundamentals or whatever you're doing, you know that you can't close trades because you're always hoping, or there's certain things that we all have differently because it goes back to our childhood trauma. So when you know and identify all that, imagine the position you are to place a trade. You're in a much better position because you know what you need. Not everyone else and this system and that system. You know what your nervous system needs to be doing when you're trading. And if you honor it enough, you will see consistency coming in. And whilst we're talking about that, we can see we're breaking the highs now. Chasing that 61.8, which is good news for my trade. Hint, hint. Nice. Let's do a, let's see in the chat. By the way, I've got funded with the fivers, but I really have a hesitation with the payment process via Rise. How do you think about it? And are you using Rise? Yeah, it's just another payment. Like, don't worry about it. Fivers are legit. Like, and if they're not, they're very quick to respond. With any issue I've had, I've passed 6 milestones. All payouts has been fine. 7 actually. So I wouldn't worry about it. They have so bad reviews. Trust me, the bad reviews are normally people that the payout wasn't within minutes and it was like after a few hours, and then they go and put a review in, and then they lost the account, and then they're probably angry and they go and make a review even worse. I wouldn't pay so much attention, especially because I know the people there. I would definitely be happily put my name on anything to do with the fivers. They're a great organization and they're paying me my salaries. So you're back. Junior 2. Let me see. Look at that, 61.8. Gonna hit right now. Boom. Let me just check all the sound is working. Can you hear me? Just checking. Imagine if I've been talking to myself all this time. So, yeah, loud and clear. I put everyone to sleep. That's what it is. So, you see the reaction there, the 61.8. It's just, it happens every single time. We hit a nice Fibonacci retracement, then you have a reaction. But, guys, look at that silver bullet entry though. Look at that. 20 pips. Brilliant. Be honest, who took the trade in here? I'm sure there's one person who took the trade. I had 2 silver bullet entries on EU. Silver bullet entries, I'm guessing US, EU, right? And now I'm so zoned on the EU CAD. Okay, let's see that. Let's see what you're talking about. I need my... This is what you got. Let's see what Rafa did. Silver bullet. So that's equal lows. So I'm guessing you didn't take that, or did you? I don't like taking the equal lows. I guess, let's see. This might have pierced it. It has pierced it. So that is a valid. That is your first. Yeah. You would, I'm guessing you took that. And then there was another entry there. If you were sizing up. Right there. So what did that give you? That gives you 10 pips to that. 20 pips. Pretty much identical trades. Come on, pound dollar, to the moon. There is a fair value gap before 3 a.m. and one inside the 3 to 4. Right, we're pushing nicely upwards. That's good. Well, it's not good if you're short, I guess, but it's good if you're long. There we go, aggressively pushing previous daily highs, creating weekly highs. Look at that volume coming in now. What time is it? Closing the hour. Nice. Look at that. Oh, we're screaming. We're screaming. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna take some of that. Thank you. Nice. If you're wondering what I'm referring to is, I don't know if you can see these, about $176 on that trade. 2 positions, 0.5. Bonnie, do me a favor, and can you ask them whilst because I really want to check that out. If you drop them a message on Telegram and see what's happened with the seasonality, especially in the pound dollar, because I'm intrigued to find out what that is. If that's an error, I mean, we need to get some funding back. Twan, just got out of my buy positions on Monday in profit after a few repositions. There we go, another Vanguard member smashing it, Twan. Let's go back to this. So, overall, well, what time is it? We've got 3 minutes. Before we close, guys, is there, yeah, I'm going to drop them a message. I'll tell you if they respond. Do you have, if you can drop me a message on Instagram. My Instagram is Conscious Day Trader. Conscious Day Trader. I had to change it because of all the scams, and now I got a blue tick so you can find it. It's my face on there. It's this one. Don't know if you can see it, but drop me a message there, and I will send them these screenshots as well. Yeah, because that doesn't look good if it is wrong. Look at the reaction now. I'm glad I closed those positions on partials there. Did I close? Maybe I should close a bit more. Let's see. What we're thinking, let's see, let's look on the hour. So we found 61.8. We've come off this. The quick question, the question is, let's do a poll here. Can you go in more detail on the silver bullet setup? Break the loop. Have you seen I've done a whole video on the silver bullet. If you go on YouTube. And you go on my channel. So the most reviewed 39,000 ICT bullet. Let me just copy that for you. I've tried to simplify it as much as possible, so it's really easy for anyone to take trades on the silver bullet. I'll put it in there. Just copy that link in a URL and it will throw it up. I have a short on EU now using the 30-minute OB. Changing bias, Rafa. So, look how high we've pushed up. This fair value gap has given quite some substantial profits. It's not there, it is there. 30.8. Actually, what I should do, I should look on the seasonality of this as well. Bonnie has done me a good that would probably be an easy way to see the data. I think seasonality is this is the endogenous. Yeah, after the live, I'll go and check the seasonalities as well, just to make sure that everything is in good shape before we start using it, eh? Do you only trade Forex or do you trade futures? I have traded futures. I started trading the DAX. I stayed away because the fivers, it's quite expensive to trade the DAX. So I do like the FTSE in the DAX. Like if I was able to trade it on my fivers account, I would do it. I just find that over the weekend the swaps are quite expensive, and I hold trades over the weekend quite often, especially if there's NFP events and so on. So yeah, I just find it more expensive. Forex is very cheap. It's volatile. It moves. It doesn't move as aggressive as well, which is a nice thing. So yeah, I have traded them. I had traded the US what's it called? When I was in the States, I started trading the US 30, US 100. Is it 100? 30? Not the Russell, the Wall Street. But that didn't go really well, actually. And the reason I did a whole review with the Vanguards about why I think that repositioning wasn't great for indices, even though I know a few of our members make money using the indices. What I didn't like about it was that the indices are, in general, have an underlying bias long. So if you're shorting, if it is going down, an index, it will go down very, very aggressively. Let's bring an example up. Let's look at, what do you trade? What do you trade at Dukde? What would you like to see? S&P 500, the Nasdaq. What do you trade? The NAS. I'm sure I've got some drawings on there. Did I use Wanda? What did I use? I think I used the FX. I actually paid for the data as well. I think I've stopped paying the data now, that's why it's delayed. Let me see. Yeah, I think when I upgraded, I cancelled the payment. was it called? How did I have it here? Give me a second, it's been a while. Indices. USCFD, this is the one. So as you can see, I had labeled it all up and I was trading it. There's certain things and elements I didn't like about it. Wow, we have been on a screamer to the upside, huh? Let's go to the daily. Taking the highs here, weekly highs. What's that in relevance to? Wait a minute, is this all-time highs? All-time highs. Wow. Wow. So, yeah, so you can see that we're generally the movement is wait, you're right. Is this the one I was doing? Is it the futures? Give me a second. Just make sure it was. I'm looking at the right chart. NQ. Yeah, this is the one. It was the E-mini. Can't remember what it would be, Martin. I think it was the N. What was it called? Because it updates. NQ on SME. That's it. Yeah, I bought this data. You see, I have this data. So it was either. Yeah, you have to see what month it is and all that stuff. But let's say it's this one. But as you can see, the bias, ESH 2024, ESH 2024. Really? Oh wait, it will be. No, it would be, yeah, it would be, it won't be here, obviously, because we've passed it. Obviously, I'm just being dumb right now. So the chart I was trading at the time, it won't be here on the charts, if that makes sense. So what I'll do, I'll just go on to the indices since I've marked it a little bit, just for the example. It was, what did I do? The US 30. On here. Keep an eye on the pound dollar in case we're retracting a little bit. So yeah, these are my scruffy levels. Let me just hide them. Okay, so yeah, so here's the thing. When the NQ or US, whatever you call it, inherently is always going to be biased long, right? And you can see that because it's yeah, you're right. Yes. Is for the S&P, yeah. When I do repositioning, a good example is looking at the RSIs, right? RSIs, in my opinion, on trading indices, don't react the same way that an RSI would react with the Forex market. Because the Forex market is not biased long. It's a generic currency exchange where you have let's take the pound dollar, you have the pound, which is the economy of the UK, versus the US, which is the economy of the USD, which is the economy of the States. So in RSI or Bollinger Bands makes sense how they work, because you're almost looking at and I'm not saying to use the Bollinger Bands as a trading tool, but I'm trying to convey the message that if you're repositioning, you want to be able to find something that bounces, right? And what I mean by bounces, when it's oversold, overbought, these are easy examples, but look at this, oversold, right? It's been oversold from 2020. Okay, if you take these, but it didn't go down here until a whole year in the oversold arena. So what that's telling you is that the stock market is so heavily biased long that when you're going to get, if you're going to get it wrong and it's shorted very aggressively and very quickly. So yes, you can make a lot of money, but it's less predictable on the bounces of, let's say, the historical data of pound dollar. We drop in a pound dollar. Yeah, it's overbought. It's almost like identical to what it's doing to the RSI. And we're not looking at the RSI for a signal. We're just looking at the nature of the asset, right? Every time something has been overbought, it's never been months and months and months oversold. You can see here is a build-up. It's almost like a continuous build-up to go into oversold. And that is telling you that the price bounces. And why is that important for me as a trader when I trade repositioning? Is because when I reposition and I'm trying to find lows, right? So let's say I want to try, I thought this is going higher, and this was the horrible drop, so that's not a very good example. But let's say I wanted to go higher here, and I got a high here. I want to know that if I get it wrong, I will find opportunities for the price to bounce back, and I can reposition to get a better price. And I can do that enough times, then my profits will come out. So that's why I find difficulty with the indices is that you, in general, if there's a stock in the index that is not performing, what they do is just take it out and bring a better performer. And one of the videos in the Vanguards, I always mention that and say, it's like, do you know this stock? Yeah, it was in there, but it left because it underperformed, but this got replaced. Now the index is going to be performing better. So in general, when you, and it does short quite heavily, the indice, if you get it wrong, you can get it very, very, very wrong. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with RSIs, Bollinger Bands, MACDs, like Scruffy makes a huge living out of them. It all depends on the characteristics of the trader you are and how it's actually helping you. That's all it comes down to. Everything that is on here can be useful for a certain person, but it doesn't mean that it's on here is useful for every single person. That's the difference, right? This, someone can make enormous money with this, but it doesn't mean that everyone who's trading the RSI will, or the Bollinger Band. Someone can make money with nothing on there, with literally nothing, like that, and they can still make money. It's because that is right for them. All right, we've gone 15 minutes over. Ali, here he is, looking for a signal. What's your general bias for the pound dollar? I'm just kidding. I know Ali. I'm just taking the piss out of him. The pound dollar at the moment is quite in a neutral position fundamentally. We saw that from the COD data. I know it's saying bearish there, and it's actually pushing higher. If you look at the DXM, a lot of people are short at the moment, and the pound is climbing. So that's a good indication for you not to line up with recreational trading. But if you look at it from a technical perspective, what's happened is we've had, let's be really basic, guys. Sometimes bias, you don't need to make it complicated. Be really basic. We've had a huge move up. We've had a huge move down, but not to the scale of the move up. And now we're reacting in the huge month, the huge move up from the previous time that it was pushing bullishly. So there's two things that you can take here. This is a weekly chart. This can either be a genuinely move down, and this has been a rebalancing of this move, a retracement, let's say, of 61% on the week. So someone can say, hey, I'm shorting this because we've had the real move down, retraced, and now we're going to get better prices so we can push even lower because people were taking profits here. Does that line up with fundamentally what you think about the pound dollar? Do we think generally that the price is going to be going back to 1-2s and to parity? Or was this a breather from this move broken the 23 into the 38? So if you are a Fibonacci fan, technically, as long as this top is not broken, you can find a play for this, right? On a bigger scale now. Let's look at dailies. So we can see that we're pushing higher highs, higher highs, higher highs. First change of character here, broke down below, and now we're getting back into that push higher. Let me see in case I'm missing something on the charts. So here's a question for you, Ali. Where I think we're about to sell from 1, 2, big move down. Okay, let's see. Let's see Ali's analysis. Ali is a Vanguard member, that's why I'm doing this. One, 2, 720s. 1, 2, 720s. Tell me more, Ali. Why? What's the song? Tell me more, tell me more. Now Ali is analysing the charts. Oh, you've got a bit of a cheat code there from Loyalty Family. There has been a break of structure on the 4-hour, and down there is a daily fair value gap. Look at the dailies. Break of structure here, daily fair value gap, Yeah. Makes sense. What about this? Four hour tapped into the fair value gap there. Attempt to take the highs. Why should we take the daily over the 4 hour? What about a week? We're coming to a close of the week. And we've got NFP. What would be an easy target for NFP? There is a 4 hour order block there, then big move down. 4 hours backed with big time frames. Got ya. So 120 to 127.60. So you've got a 60 pip range where you'll be interested. So let me just reread that. So, is Marcelo, I have a different approach than yours. For me, we have taken liquidity up and down. We've taken liquidity up on a 4 hour. Is this a multiple day trade? So I'm guessing you're saying we've taken liquidity up here, down here. Now there's a 4 hour order block. Big move down. Order block. Big move down. Yeah, makes sense. And that's what when someone like who was it before, Loyal to Family, he was like, I saw that on the daily. If someone said to me, we've had a big sell here into liquidity, we've taken up this fair value gap, and I can see a push up into the highs of this level. We've rejected this weekly level, we're going higher to a monthly level. What you should be looking for is, does your plan logically stand out? Because if it does, then it doesn't matter if you're long or short, because you're not trying to find the exact perfect entry. Okay, you're saying that the order block will sell off, and that would be amazing if it did. We just saw this morning the fair value gap on the 5 minute delivered a 20 pip, no problem. Actually, it was more. What was it? So as long as you have a plan, even this silver bullet trade gave you 26 pips. If you have a plan that makes logical sense, then it's down to management. And that's where trading is. It's not like a trading plan, an idea, like you gave there, like 40 pip sort of range. I'm interested in that area. Like I was saying for, if we jump quickly onto the euro, right, it's starting to show movement to the upper side. If it pushes above the 50, comes up in this area, then I'm interested. That's the same language we're using. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for potential ideas that make sense. If they make sense, then Ali says, I don't reposition. I have one entry, one stop, but my risk reward is at least 1 to 3 and general much more. So that's how I'm possible. Yeah, perfect. So you've got a good idea. You've got your risk reward set up, and then all you need to do then is look at your historical performance. If your historical performance is showing you, has indicated that a 1 to 3 risk reward is working for you, happy days. Happy days. There's no one way of trading. There's no right way of trading. It's trying to identify what you as a trader need. Someone will need risk reward, someone will need repositioning, someone will need Elliott wave, someone will need RSI, someone will need, there's so many different ways of doing it. So to me, the analysis sounds logical. You've analyzed this, you've seen a break of structure down, you've seen this order block, looking for, what's the target? I think you said 1 to 3. So I'm guessing you risk what? How much are you risking? I guess the bigger risk is that it will take the highs if you're wrong. So that's a 60 pip. But I'm sure you're looking for something closer, because a 60 pip would be 180. So you'll be hunting these lows. You never bother, Ali. This is perfect. This is perfect example of someone doing something completely different, but we can all agree that that makes sense as a trade. If it makes sense and you can manage it and you're happy to take this loss if it pushes up and takes the highs, because you've done your analysis and you know in the long term 1 to 3 is going to give you good profits, it's that simple. Don't make it complicated. Doesn't that look like a unicorn sell setup? Yeah, so what you're saying there is, doesn't that look like the price will come back to the 76 and then sell off? It does. And that's an ICT concept, looking for the optimal trade entry, which, plug, I've got a video on that. Where is it? ICT OTE explained step by step. There you go. Shameless. No, 1272 to 1276 is the area I'll look for. Silent tree, how it's shorted. Yeah, got it. So 1272. Okay, let's take your upper end, which is up here. So that would be something like that. 60 pips will take you to the up of that. 180 would take you, looks like the weekly, just below to that monthly level. And that would be in line with the OTE that Duck was saying. Ah, cool. Appreciate that. Right, we've gone over 2 hours, haven't we? All right, guys, we're going to be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to talk a lot about the NFP. We're going to look at previous NFPs, how they react. Let's change the scene. Look at that. In the perfect studio behind. I promise, guys, this studio, that when we build our dream house, it's going to look great. But for now, we're going to have to do with this, which is actually my son's room. This is where we're doing this. But it's good internet here. So this is what's happening. So thanks for the subscribe, Duck Day. I hope you got something from today. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to analyze a lot about the NFP. We're going to look at historical data on interactive brokers. That's going to be interesting. We are going to look at, I'm going to find out about PMT and seasonality. That doesn't add up. So we'll see what happens there. And stay safe as always. Trade well. And don't do silly, dumb stuff, money stuff. Like you saw, Ali had a great example. Oh, he's just come in now. My stop will be much smaller than that, what you showed. Anyway, thanks for your videos. Yeah, that was a 60 pips stop. So Ali, I don't know, 10 pips or something like that. I would argue that is quite tight. But it depends what the pound dollar has done for the day. But anyway, we could continue this chat in the Discord. Have a good afternoon, guys, in the UK or wherever you are in the world. And I will see you tomorrow, same time.
Self-esteem damn bad. Gotta keep on chugging. Ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed in heaven. Got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that. It's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up. I'm trying to get it in FT to get them in their hand and crypto. Learn how to fix that. I don't really hold out of books, but I'ma learn how to fix that. Some opportunities and never come unless you paying attention. So no, I can't miss that. Moving. MVP, I got the record. I might have to pro something. Big jumper worthy. They gon' have to retire my jersey early. Whole crew coming. Had to work something cause I had nothing in my pocket. Yeah, I did all that. Big plans. Partners trying to make profits. Yeah, I did all that. Sweating, tears breaking, even no ends. Yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen. Putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my